Incoming time flux.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video, I guess, on The Flash Season 5, but it's also officially my first video on The Flash Season 6. So yeah, The Flash is over for another season involving time travel with, some issues due to the difficulty with the rules of time travel and trying to keep, consistent with those rules. But as we usually get with The Flash as it wraps up a season, we get all the setup or most of the setup needed for the season that is going to follow. And for Season 6 of The Flash, this was all built up in the last 10 to 15 minutes or so of the finale for The Flash Season 5. When we got to see the show write out certain characters from the show, and with others put their character on the back burner and left their story in a sort of grey area, where I'm sure they will decide what to exactly do in the off season between the seasons for the shows before picking up in the next season. But of course, in this video, we are going to be going over everything from the Season 5 finale, what it all meant, and what it means heading into not just this, the next season of the show, that being Season 6, but also the big crossover event that has been built up since Season 1 of The Flash, that of course being Crisis on Infinite Earths. But of course, throughout this video, leave all of your different opinions in the comment section down below on what's going on, what your various theories going into Season 6, and your various opinions on what happened at the end of Season 5. Interested to see what you have to say down there. And of course, if you're going to enjoy this video and you're just looking forward to Season 6 of The Flash and what we're going to be talking about, be sure to drop a like on it to show support. And just, welcome to the Season 6 videos for The Flash. But let's just jump into it all. So in the finale for The Flash Season 5, we saw all of the various bits and bobs of both the Cicada family and Reverse Flash and Nora storylines come together, mainly held together with Eobard Thawne's master plan being revealed, even though we knew about 95% of it from previous episodes. But as we see in the episode, thanks to Sherlock explaining it, even though it was Ralph that had figured it out the previous episode, by stopping Cicada 2 or Cicada by destroying the dagger in the present, it would obviously eliminate the dagger's presence and effect in the future. And as we know, that's important because in the future, the dagger has been strapped to Eobard's chest, in turn dampening his powers so that he could be, held in prison for 15 years at this point, and also allow the Ironhide staff to at least attempt to execute him. This revelation to the team affects Nora the most, as the reason that the team is at this point, or in this situation, is because Nora allowed herself to be manipulated by her father's greatest enemy, to the point in which she was going to change the timeline not just for Eobard, but also herself. But as we move into the actual climactic points of the finale, we do see the team manage to finally defeat Cicada after basically, 22 episodes, because Cicada appeared at the end of episode 1. But they do have to destroy the dagger to do so. And this is done through the mirror gun, like we saw Barry attempt to do at the end of last episode. This obviously prevents the dagger from existing in 2049 and does free Eobard, leading to some pretty cool scenes, and despite the team's best efforts to stop him, as we have learned since Season 1, every action does have a consequence, especially when time travel is involved. So the dagger being erased from that timeline begins to create a new timeline, and as a consequence, Nora begins to be erased from existence right before their eyes. And as the timeline that our present day heroes are now in, that doesn't involve that version of Nora. But we will come back to her in a second. Now, Eobard does offer a problem solver for the team and Nora, this involving the negative speed force. But Nora decides to not go through with it, and as it would make her completely and fully adopt the negative speed force. And this actually provides a somewhat heroic moment for Nora, as she chooses to instead accept the consequences and fade away, like we saw with Eobard in Season 1, Savitar in Season 3, and also Cicada in this same finale, which leads Nora to being erased from the timeline and also erased from her parents' arms. So you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. So I guess she would have become a villain if she went to the negative speed force. Anyway. And obviously it would be sort of negligent of me to not, point out that before Eobard does run away after, after that all that stuff happens to Nora, he does talk about, seeing Barry in the next crisis. So we will be, seeing that lovely yellow suit of his very, very, very soon. Now, as the season wraps up, we do get some nice touches with Caitlin being given a new Killer Frost, or simply Frost, suit by the departing Cisco. We see Sherlock on his Earth reuniting with Renee Adler, Joe soaking up his new role as the captain of CCPD, Ralph picking up a file with the surname Dearborn on it, which is the maiden name of his future wife Sue Dibney, which will obviously be a storyline for Ralph next season. But then we end the episode and the finale for The Flash Season 5 with something we all expected, that being a Crisis on Infinite Earths teaser. And as we've seen since Season 1, the date for that event was April 24th, 2024. But right at the end, we hear Gideon say, "Incoming time flux," with us seeing the date scroll down at a rapid rate, with us not being able to see what month or day it lands on, but we do see the year, that being the year 2019. So, we have a crisis happening at the end of this year, so strap your boots on, ladies and gentlemen, the multiverse is coming to an end. But now let's go over some of the big questions left from the ending of Season 5. These aren't all of them. If you do have any more, let me know in the comments section down below. So first off, that new date. Due to how Arrow ended, and I won't spoil that in case some of you haven't watched it, but there is a time jump involved there, and it does leave a big question mark over how the shows involved in the Crisis crossover will line up to take part. Obviously, Legends of Tomorrow is fine due to, well, do I have to explain, time travel? But it does feel like Flash and most likely Supergirl will be playing catch up to where Arrow are. But if we guess correctly and Arrow might involve some like multiversal and possibly time travel next season with Oliver, then maybe Flash and Supergirl aren't pressured to catch up and reach the same point Arrow is at. Regardless, you would have to think that this crossover will be around the mid-season finales for the shows, that being an episode 9 for the shows, or maybe even 2 episodes each for, all the shows. So episode 8 and 9 for all the shows, possibly including Batwoman as well, making it a 10-episode crossover. I feel like that is overkill personally, and the story could easily be done in 5 episodes, 1 episode for each of the shows if we do include Batwoman. But CW might want to milk it for views, but that would make the crossover even more expensive, so I don't know. But tomorrow from when this video goes up, the CW upfronts are on, so we might find out more information then and there. Now, the title of the newspaper when it shows up still had the whole Flash vanishes in Crisis blah 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 headline. But I think we should expect that to change come the crossover. The biggest issue with it is probably that the newspaper is still the Central City Citizen, which Iris hasn't really propelled forward that much, so it will be interesting to see what happens there. They haven't really made clear what brought Crisis to 2019 over 2024. Was it the dagger changing timeline? Was it something to do with Oliver? Was it something to do with Apartment 4? That is something that will most likely, we'll have to wait until the actual event, or maybe early episodes of next season for The Flash, but we'll have to wait and see. But Nora got dusted, so Mr. Allen, aka Dad, I don't feel so good. But is Nora actually gone for good? Well, Todd Helbing, the showrunner for this season, The Flash, did say that there was always a chance for Jessica Parker Kennedy, who played Nora, to come back in some way and various ways. It is important to remember that Nora disappeared because the timeline that we were in changed and she didn't fit into that timeline. So Eobard really played with her and manipulated her into saving his life but destroying her, so she took a pretty, fat L there. But Barry and Iris could easily still have another daughter, still name her Nora, and that character, or that daughter, could still be played by Jessica Parker Kennedy. It's really not hard to believe that at all. The thing that could stop that from happening is what happened in the finale. Having Barry and Iris watch their daughter not just disappear or die in front of them, but also in their arms, it would sort of stick with them, and it might affect their relationship, not in regards to them as a couple and how they get on, but in regards to moving ahead with the family in the same way that Nora's initial timeline would have gone, which may cause them to go past the rough period in which Nora would have been born initially. But seeing we have Crisis next year, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if we do get another version of Nora in that event from another Earth, or next season just involves another version of Nora in the season. Maybe one that is a bit more consistently written, because Nora had the potential to be a really good character, but just ended up being like an okay character due to some errors in her story. But I'm excited to see what they do, as I really don't think they will drop Jessica Parker Kennedy from the show. I think most people liked her as an actor, so I'd be surprised if they didn't keep her, so I think she will stay on the show. Now, one of the bigger questions coming from the finale is around Cisco and whether he has officially left the show, because the finale didn't make it 100% clear, unlike, say, Arrow, where you could tell that a certain character had officially left the show. Now, with Cisco, at this point, there hasn't been an interview with Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco, or any of the people behind the show in regards to what's going on with him. But we could get that in the next few days, and with the CW upfronts tomorrow, we could get some sort of statement around then. But the way in which the scene with Cisco and Caitlin played out, and even that slow-mo shot of Cisco and Camilla in the last moments of the episode, Cisco is 100% gone as a regular on the show, but could return like a small role in Season 6 if needed. His departure doesn't make 100% sense, like he could still help at Star Labs. I mean, he was their engineer, he made all the gizmos and gadgets and stuff. He wasn't just Vibe, like he is highly skilled outside of that. But yeah, it will be interesting to see what is confirmed with that character. I would expect him back in Crisis, maybe as like another version of Cisco or Vibe from another Earth in the multiverse, or just as the one that we had. But they were setting up his departure throughout the season, so it isn't too surprising that what happened to him in the finale, actually happened. One thing that I think a lot of people were expecting was maybe a villain tease for season 6. We did talk about it before the finale and that it might not happen, but it could happen. Like it's sort of, it's sort of up in the air whether it's going to happen. The main reason it didn't happen was because we have Crisis next season. I think it's going to be weird because the shows are going to find it hard to, if they want to introduce a big bad, to keep that consistent, with Crisis, because it's meant to be this big event that sort of changes the multiverse. So I think it's safe not setting up villains for next season at this point, maybe giving them a bit of time to think about it, or maybe the Crisis sets up the season 6 villain for the Flash. Post-Crisis, we have this big threat caused by the change of the multiverse, which could happen, and then maybe in early season 6, we just have some ramifications from what happened. Maybe the timeline change causes something weird, or maybe you have like a minor villain for the first 5 or 6 episodes of the season, leading into Crisis. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the reason we didn't get like a big tease for the villain is because of Crisis. I think most people should be able to get a grasp on that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions and any other questions you have for this season. I might include them in another video in the next week or two. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.